I wanted to go over with you the wonderful recipe that I feel is so contributory towards promoting health. You know, it doesn't matter the name of the disease when you're healthy. So if you have cancer or autoimmune disease or autism or whatever it is, joint pain, I've heard multiple times people saying how they've improved just by having bone broth. And so I want to show you the recipe for bone broth here. So basically, it's you know, the thing that I talk to my patients about is where does the bones come from, right? Is the animal that you're cooking the bones for healthy or is it unhealthy? And so you have to just imagine going back all the way to the farm, and you want to just see how they're being taken care of, and if they're cripped up next to each other like chickens or cows that are next to each other, and forced to be milked and forced not to move, and they're pumped with corn so they can get fat, so that when they sell it they can get more money because it's heavier and it's more tastier when there's fat on the animal. But where's that fat coming from? And where is it ending up? It's ending up inside your body. So is the original animal allowed to roam around the way God intended? Are they allowed to eat grass 100% of the time, or are they fed corn, which is GMO corn, that promotes weight gain and fat and diabetes in adults? Right? When you have corn all the time, or processed foods, or flour, any type of flour, promote weight gain when you don't balance it out with the right amount of other macronutrients like protein and healthy fats and vegetables, the good carbs. But these cows and whatever animal you're eating, if they're fed corn all the time, which is one of the cheapest sources of food there is, plus they're pumped with antibiotics so that they can be, because unhealthy cows get disease, they get infection. Chicken gets infection when they're not clean, right? The environment's not clean, but when they're in an environment where they're pooping all over the place and they're not cleaning the stalls, plus they're next to each other, they're high stress. High stress causes a reduced immune system. Think about the last time you had high stress and it produced shingles or whatever kind of infection, you got sick. Well, animals are mammals, just the same we are. If they're stressed out, cooped up, they're going to be stressed, and then they're going to get more infection because their immune system is going to go down. So they have to pump them with antibiotics. So you could see the vicious round of stress that these animals are going through, and now you're eating those animals. And if you're going to make a bone which contains all the immune particles inside the bone marrow, you're going to eat a diseased bone, basically. And so is that what you want? So if you can't afford to get organic bones, just staying away from processed foods will make a huge difference in your health, right? But if you can afford to do organic bones, that's what I encourage you to do. But you want to think about how the animal was taken care of. So here's a bone recipe here. Bone broth recipe that's preferably, like I said, organic, free range, and or grass fed animals. That's preferable, but like, if you can't afford that, then don't do it. Just you know, just reduce your processed content of food, and you'll be healthier. So basically, it shows you all the ingredients to put it: carrots, celery, etc. Just read through here. Fill the crock pot, and then using beef bones, roast it beforehand if you're using beef bones for 25 to 30 minutes. And then the big thing is, use clean water, okay? I like Berkey water. If you don't have that, do reverse osmosis water. You can install that by yourself underneath your sink. I like Berkey because it retains the minerals, and it's about 2 cents a gallon for the filters to replace. So it's the least expensive system that I know that they have proven through lab studies to take away more than 99.9%, close to 100% of all the junk in there. And I have to add fluoride and arsenic filters to it. So that's about 6 cents a gallon. So that's cheaper than anything that you could buy out there. even better than the Brita filter, because the Brita costs about the same but doesn't filter out as much. So now when you're doing water, you're reintroducing toxins into the food that you're cooking, and if you're drinking that water, the same thing is going into your body. So all that to say, use good water. Add a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then skim off the froth when it rises. Continue to add water as that evaporates, and then allow at least 4 hours for chicken stock and a minimum of 6 hours for other tougher bones. And if you have the time, I would do it for longer and use the bones over and over and over until it completely disintegrates. You know that old saying, when you get sick, have your mom's chicken noodle soup. Well, the noodle, portions are not so healthy now because we tend to crave pasta, which is from flour, which induces high blood sugar. So look up low glycemic foods online. Flour is not one of them. Pasta is not one of them. So, but the chicken soup is usually, if they made it with bone broth, that is why it works for getting people better faster, because all the bone broth you're eating, all the bone marrow, which tastes good by the way, all the minerals that come from the bone that disintegrate, and minerals are a highly depleted substance in our environment. We can talk about that all day, but look on my blog on Does It Matter If You're, the name of the disease if you're healthy, at drquick.com, and you'll see all the case studies about how we've helped people that are suffering with different diseases just by getting healthy. So it's really important just to stick to the healthy bones, because all that bone marrow has the immune system built into it. And most of the patients that come in here, their immune system is whacked. My immune system was whacked for such a long time. Now I hardly ever get sick. And when I do get sick, it's very mild. And I used to get really bad canker sores, and sometimes I get it when I'm overly stressed, right? But overall, my immune system has really been built up by taking the right supplements and eating the right foods, and bone broth is one of those right foods. I encourage all my patients to learn to cook bone broth, and it's yummy, it's satisfying, it's fulfilling, it's got protein, it's got good fats, and it's got all the minerals and bone marrow in there to help boost your body. So if you like this, please comment or like this video and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.